I'm going to make this stuff go back, and I'm going to try and bring this forward by adding a little more darkness to some of this contrast to some of these things.
Ever have a bad painting and you're not exactly sure what to do with it? Our guest today is Richard Lindenberg. Richard, what are you going to talk about?
Oh, pretty easy. Very often I take home painting from the field, sits on the shelf, and I look at it, and it just needs some punch. It needs some color. It needs some contrast. It could need a lot of things. So I'm going to deal with a large 16 by 20 I did in the field today, and I'll show you how I would work that.
All right. So you're going to show us how to take a painting you did outdoors in plein air and make it better once you've had a chance to think about it. So you're going to work on a painting. Let's get started so we can get right into it.
Right.
Look at that. That is so, it looks done to me. What's wrong with it?
No. You're seeing it. There's so much I saw in this painting when I was in the field, and you bring it home and it's just lacking touches of contrast and sharp edges and a little more push. So I'm going to work on that today. I don't often work 16 by 20 out in the field, so you don't have a lot of time. And at a Garrapatta, the wind often comes up, which it did that day. I was with the California Art Club. We had about 40 painters out there on the cliff. So I brought it home and I did 3 other little ones, and they were fine. But this big one needed a little more work. So
I have a question for you. I'm going to ask
Sure.
right away because I see something.
What?
I can see things in other people's paintings that I can't see in my own. What is your focal point?
It's going to be in this general area. It's the receding. This is going to come forward. That's going to go back. And this area over here is going to be the focal.
The reason I ask that is those 2 cliffs, so the one coming down on the right and the one coming down right there. No, that one, that go over to the left. No, yeah. Go over further. Right. That one, if you go to the top of that and all the way to the top, go all the way to the top, and now move your finger all the way down to the bottom. Now that is pointing to one spot. Now, if you take that one to your left, the angular rock, that's also an arrow. So what's happening is you've got an arrow pointing to that spot. To me, that's where a good opportunity for focal point. So it's in that area.
This should be gone and that should be coming over this way.
I'm not saying it should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's creating a big arrow. It's pointing to those little rocks in the front.
Right. Let's see what we can do.
All right. Let's
take your advice. All right. You want me to go at it?
Yeah, go for it, baby.
Okay. All right.
Richard and I have known each other for a long time. He was kind of a painting buddy with me when I lived in California. We'd go painting pretty much every week with some friends, which I miss. I have not had that in the 12 years I've lived here. Go ahead, Rich.
Okay. So, first thing I want to do is pop the focal point like Eric's talking about. Very lightly, I just hold the brush. All right, so I'm going to make this stuff go back, and I'm going to try and bring this forward by adding a little more darkness to some of this contrast to some of these things.
All right.
Refining these shapes a little bit. So, it's all experimentation. I hope it works out.
It'll work out.
It certainly should be better than what I had before. All right, so the lighter color back here is certainly going to, draw the eye to it.
Do you want to talk about making things recede so they go back?
Yeah. Well,
and what color? And the question from Lori Bond is, what color did you use for that highlight you just put in there?
How do you make any color? First of all, I'm colorblind with blues and greens.
Are you?
But that's just basically an ochre, a little bit of orange and white.
Okay.
So you're asking about atmosphere, especially at an oceanside painting like this. Much bluer going back. This whole area is a good value, other than a little more darkness down below. But I'm going to pull this forward by adding a little more darkness to it. So I think what I'll do is I'll go at that right now. And if I made this the same value as that, then there would be no push and pull.
Right.
So I'm going to try and make this a little bit darker, but I'm not ready to go there yet. So,
okay. Where are you ready to go?
all right. One of the things I wanted to do, I got some pre-mixed colors here, and hopefully they'll work. Let's see. Okay, here's a nice light color. So I'm going to try and put some contrast and darker color.
So for those people who might not know, darker colors make a painting come forward and lighter colors tend to push it back. And as you go back, yellows diminish and get bluer, and so lighter and bluer.
Right. And, you know, one of the things that I find, you got to ground. All of this is the same contrast at the base, at the ocean. So I want to ground it by putting some more darkness down to it. And that'll be my starting point.
It's already better.
And I can always lighten it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I can lighten this area to give the illusion of a little darkness and grounding down at the bottom there. And back here, it would be less darkness, but still, to punch it, it needs a little dark. Especially at a focal point. And if it's too dark, one of the things about a dry painting, if I put it on and it doesn't look right, I can just turp it right off and start again rather than go over it. All right, so I'm going to keep working on this area a little bit.
All right. If you just tuned in, Richard Lindenberg is our guest, and he is fixing a plein air painting he did in the field. It's a 16 by 20, and he sees some things wrong with it. So he's working on those things now to make it a better painting. Richard, you know, there are purists out there, and I'm not being critical of that. There are some who say a plein air painting should never be touched after you leave the location. And there are others who say, look, the goal is to make a good painting no matter what. Have any thoughts on that?
Sure. For me, I don't know how long any of your audience has been out there in the field painting. And of course, my goal is to make a winner right off the bat. But the changing conditions out there make it so tough. So I have a shelf in my studio that, for me, I must give it some time, look at it, and see if it needs any refinement. And you can really take a painting that is just dull and missing stuff and pull it to life. So although this one had a good start, I still feel I needed to go at it afterwards. So no, I'm not a purist, but you can be sure I really do want to finish a painting and have it work outside.
You want to talk about how you're holding your brush? Karen Schumacher mentioned that she's fascinated by that.
Oh, well, normally when I'm in the field, I can step back and I hold it more out at the end of the brush. But when I'm in the studio, I don't have a lot of room to go back because it's really just a spare room in my house. I'm trying to go quick because I know you don't have a lot of time. This little bit of contrast at the top of a hill usually happens. This area up here needed some definition. That's the ice plants. They turn in the fall really nicely. I'm using a big brush rather than a little brush. All right, so let's see what you were saying, Eric. I'm going to try and make this head more towards that little bit of ocean over there.
Breaking it up a little bit too. You know, you and I were painting together in Fall Color Week. We were painting in the snow, and we were painting this river, and you pointed out to me something that I always forget. You know, I made my edges too clean. That river was just too perfect, and you always talked about breaking up edges.
That's where I hold the brush right in the balance point and just let it do the work for me. Okay.
Where is this painting? Did you say Garrapatta? Where?
With Garrapatta, outside Monterey, Carmel, near south of Point Lobos. It's a favorite of painters that come to California.
Yeah, okay. I've never painted there. I've
You're
painted.
kidding? Oh,
I don't think so.
put it on your wish list.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the RV out to California soon and come see all my buddies. Go painting. You guys, we have in the comments, if you leave a comment, you might be able to win a prize, which is my book, Make More Money Selling Your Art. And you can win it by putting a comment. If you put a comment and tell us where you are watching from, we like that. And you can win from anywhere in the world. Now you're putting your brightest white right in there, looks like.
I'm trying to make that a focal point so that all of this stuff is going to converge right at that area. If it's too bright, I'm just going to come in, soften it a bit.
Looks good to me.
Okay, so I haven't touched any of that water down there, which I'm going to blue in the shadows and yellow white in the highlights.
All right. If you guys like what Richard's doing, give him a thumbs up or a heart. He needs that recognition. He's so insecure. Just kidding.
At my age, recognition is not as important as you might think it is.
Yeah, I would imagine that's right.
I don't think I'm ever going to be remembered as one of the famous California painters, although I have over 300 paintings probably in people's homes in this area.
Well, you're famous today. I'll tell you what. There's Shawasti from India who says namaste. Namaste, Shawasti. Shawati.
Namaste.
I'm sorry, I pronounced the name wrong. The people from all over the world watching today, Rich.
Okay, cool.
And on the replays, there will be more. Usually more on the replays because people can watch after work. Netherlands. Hello, Netherlands. Scotland. Hello, Scotland.
Okay, so I want to come back here. Notice because it's dry, I can use my fingers a lot more.
You know how I feel about that.
How do you feel?
Well, painting with your fingers, it goes right into your liver.
Well, I don't paint with my fingers, and I do have a glove on that hand.
Oh, you have a glove. All right. Well, that's okay then. Hello, Adirondacks, British Columbia. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Our guest today is Richard Lindenberg,
really
and he's
squinting.
working on a painting that he wanted to fix. Hello, Bernd from Deutschland. Wie geht's? Ich bin Eric. Hello, Maui. Aloha. I want to go to Maui too.
Aloha.
Quite frankly, I want to go anywhere. I'm so tired of being stuck. That really helps, that edge.
I find that, the light at the top of these cliffs, they're usually a little bit on the dark side, which tends to make it feel better.
So how do you take something brown and make it feel cool because it's in shade? Do you add a little blue into it? What do you do?
Give me an example. Where are you talking about?
Well, just in general, if you have something that's in shadow and it's a brown rock, do you try to cool it down somehow so that you've got the contrast between warm and cool?
Yeah, well, brown is, brown can be a warm color. It can be a cool color, but if you want to blue it down, you just add blue. If you want to cool it, just add some blue, but try not to be stark blue.
Yeah. Question, since we raised the issue about plein air versus studio, does it make a difference in plein air competitions?
You mean, do they frown upon touching up in a competition?
Yeah, I mean, do you do a lot of competitions? So do they require that you paint them all on location, or do they allow you to take it back to your room and touch it up?
I don't think there's a plein air police about that. I think that if you want to make it work, plein air to me is painting outside on site. So if you're painting outside on site and you find that you're missing a little something, sure. I don't think there's any. I've never had a competition that's given any trouble with that. The only trouble would be if you're really making the painting inside, then it's not ethical. But nobody's even going to know that.
Yeah, well, a couple of painters got busted in a couple of competitions a couple of years ago. One of them had, you go to a competition, they stamp the back of the canvas, right, and they say, okay, go paint this week. And then one of them had glued that stamped canvas over another painting that he had painted from photographs in his hotel room. Ooh. So he got blackballed. Everybody knows.
I mean, ethics in life, ethics is an important thing. I mean, that's up to the individual. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so
that really recedes back there. That's nice. That really has made a big difference.
Okay, there's a little too much purple here, so I'm going to go to a bigger brush.
All right.
And I'm going to see what I can do.
Luis says, you're a great artist, Richard.
Oh, thank you. Who said that, Philippe?
Luis Manuel Diaz.
Ah.
Luis, where are you from? What you just did also gave it a little bit more form.
Still.
All right. Now, if you wanted that to recede, would you darken the rocks in the front, like that front rock on the right? Would you darken that even more?
This?
No, the one right under, the big one, right at the edge of the canvas, way down. No, in the water. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Again, the problem with it is often grounding. If it's not dark enough, if it's the same color throughout, so like I'll ground it by darkening it down below.
Yeah. That's something that people forget. That's true with a house. It's true with anything. You've got to ground
trees, especially.
Trees, yes. You do great trees. All right. So now what's happening is the This is called crowdsourcing. We have people telling us what needs to be fixed. You ready for
Okay,
this?
go ahead.
Okay, Linda Camerata says, middle right, there are 3 brown dots to make a cute face. Middle right, 3 brown dots.
3 brown. This?
I don't know. I don't know where they are.
That's a good comment. There it goes.
But because once you see something like that, you can never let go of it.
Yeah, that actually just helped.
All right. Linda, you get the applause today. Thumbs up for Linda. Oh,
So
you know where
if you see this now.
Okay, wait, hold your brush right where it is. Go up 1 inch there. Now go to the right. No, yeah, those 2 dots, those are the dots he's saying are making a face. This is called paint by committee. We have fun here. All right. Does anybody else have anything that's really bugging them?
Remember, this is a rush, everybody.
Yeah, I know. It's no pressure. You got a bunch of people watching, trying to fix a painting. I think that
looks better. Thank you, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Okay, this side, can you feel it now pushed back?
Yeah.
This whole section?
Yeah.
So I can leave that and move on over to here. I don't like what's going on here.
All right. What do you not like about it? Tell us first.
Well, it's just a sharp line down and it needs to be broken up. And if I look at the original picture, it's really not as sharp a green up there as it appears to be in the painting. So one of the things that I saw was
Rich. Okay, so they're getting the audience is coming up with new things now. All right, I see it.
Go.
I see it. Okay, so where you see the orange, which is a ground cover, you see those 2 slots right there. 1, 2. It's making a skeleton face. There you go. Well, now it's a different. You got to break up the nose going down the hill. There you go. That made a big difference.
I love it. I wish I had an audience telling me all the time what to do.
Well, you could have that. I mean, we could have you on every day. Just today's painting.
All right. So this is bothering me here.
All right.
And I got to figure out how to make that work. Let's just do a little bit.
If you just tuned in, which I see many people have, Richard Lindenberg is taking a plein air painting that he did. It's dry, and now he's trying to fix it. He sees things that he wanted to change, and so he's making the front cliffs come forward, and he pushed the back cliffs to recede and put some white and some bright light in those back cliffs, so that becomes his focal point to draw you into that portal, if you will. Okay, somebody says they see a horse head. I don't see that.
Oh, a horse head. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's an ear sticking up. Now that they brought it up. Yep, right there. Richard will never come on the show again. He's like, all right, this audience is tough.
No, I actually like what they're doing.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's nice. You cannot see things in your own paintings,
especially when you move so quickly.
Yeah.
I take much more time when I'm out in the field.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes will take a photograph of a painting. I did this the other day. I had this painting. It was done. It was ready. I was getting ready to send it off to the gallery, and I sent it to a friend, and I said, what's wrong with it? Don't tell me what's right with it. Just tell me what's wrong. And he pointed out something I couldn't see, and it was terrific. Now, somebody says that the orange ice plant is really drawing the eye.
Good.
That's what you want. Okay.
Well, it's a little hot, but that succulent is really important in this area.
Yeah.
So I'm going to even go further with it.
Yeah. People who buy California paintings want California ice plants or the purples or whatever is happening at the time. Are things in bloom now?
I was just there. It's not quite like this. It is at certain times.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to try something else right now. I'm going to go at that water a little bit more. How much time do you think we got?
Oh, you got a little time. Let's say another 15.
Okay.
If people want to hang. Hello, Norway. Welcome, Roger.
I'm mixing some color, and we're going to see what happens here.
All right. It's a tense moment, ladies and gentlemen. Richard is mixing color. Ooh.
And then I'm going to put some more of the wave motion in.
So would you make the color richer and brighter as you lead into that focal point, or does it matter?
Down here, up here.
Well, yeah, as you lead it
By
in.
darkening it certainly adds in.
Oh yeah, it makes that white pop, doesn't it? You sure make this look easy.
Okay, so now the horizon, I always like to do on the horizon a little bit of something. So let's put a little fog bank or.
You move your camera up just a touch because we can't really see what you're working on up there. There we go. I see the elephant too. Somebody said they see an elephant. Yeah. Let's see how many animals we can come up with. I have a painting that I did years ago that hung in my house forever. And every time I'd stare at it, I'd see things like that. And then it finally drove me nuts. And I just grabbed it, took it out to the studio and changed it.
Once somebody points that out, it's very difficult to get it out of your head.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens with a painting you got from somebody else.
Whoops.
Oops. I see a baby elephant and a mother elephant, actually. Yeah, this is, somebody said, are we at a zoo? Thank you, Paul.
Said what?
Somebody said, are we at a zoo?
Where's the elephant?
It is, there's two of them. There's one where the horse head was. You've still got eyes there, which is the big cliff to the left. And then there's a little baby elephant with its trunk sticking out right next to it.
Down here?
Yeah, that big cliff looks more like a mastodon, and then you got a little elephant there. Elaine Miller says she sees dead people. She does that a lot, though. She's crazy. Cows drinking water. Good. Gorilla eyebrows on the left hill. Richard, it's never going to be done. That, I'll tell you what you're doing back there really makes that better. That's how you soften those edges. Okay, so now that's convincing. I see the waves.
Okay. Where were
Nancy
these
West says,
animals?
don't
Where are
listen
the
to them,
animals you're
Richard.
talking about?
Nancy West says, don't listen to him, Richard. Just keep painting. Nice. You guys enjoying this? Give him a thumbs up.
All right, let's go.
So what are you doing now?
Just highlighting the ocean over there a bit more to bring your eye over that area.
Johnny Schooley says, I see a painting that I wish I could do. Johnny, you can do this. You can learn it. So I mentioned earlier that I knew Richard. We used to go out painting all the time, and he was a good painter. But then something happened, and that was that he had a change in his employment and decided to go full tilt, full-time painter. And just watching how his work got better, it took about a year, maybe 18 months. And after that, I mean, there was a 60% difference just because he was painting so much more. And, you know, if you can get the brush time, it sure makes a difference.
It does. It really does. I worked 50 years, a regular job, so I deserve some retirement time.
Well, you're hardly retired.
Well, what can I say?
But you're enjoying life and you're doing what you love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Richard.
I'm so grateful. Can you imagine being shut indoors without an avocation like this? It's you know, it's been a rough couple of years, and I'm so thankful to have had this painting in my life, this option to go outside and paint by myself. Okay, now.
Richard was the CEO of a very big, very successful company. I won't talk about what it was for many, many years. And I think, you know, we've talked about it. He's just so much happier now as a painter. And so we have a lot of people who are, I'd love to know your professions in the comments. A lot of people who are professionals, a lot of people who paint and are taking up painting. So it's a good way to get rid of your stress. I know if I have a stressful day, if I go out to the studio, I can't think about my stress.
No, it's totally meditation.
I decided last night I was going to try sculpting. And so I went out and my box of clay was completely dry. It was like a big brick. So I decided to set up and do a drawing, a cast drawing last night, which I haven't really done much of, and very humbling.
Okay. Can put a little.
Hey, I see a retired art teacher in there. If you look on my Facebook, we've got a competition going. We're going to give away 3 Plein Air Live attendances to art teachers, one for each college, middle, and high school. So make sure you check that out and do what you're supposed to do. You'll find it on my Facebook page. Psychotherapist. I think they're analyzing us, Carol.
Go for the knife now.
All right. Knife. Talk about the knife.
You can't control it, so. It adds a lot of texture to the painting.
We're getting a lot of different jobs all over the map. Everything from interior designer to project manager to retired dental assistant, equine artist, doctor, cool, accountant. Strengthening that edge really helps too. And breaking it up.
Scott, I helped out Scott Christensen once about, I don't know, 6-8 years ago.
I remember that.
And he taught me about opposing brushstrokes.
What's that mean?
Instead of having all your brushwork going in one direction, which we tend to do, especially in a strong horizontal like that, for every one that goes that way, you want to put some going that way, just to break up the strokes from going in one direction. So like there, for every 1, 2 that go down that way, I tend to put some this way.
Max Ginsburg says that everybody does hair in the direction of the hair. He does the opposite direction, and it makes it feel more form-like. And then he'll put in a couple of long strokes over those. But he says it's a really great way to do hair. I haven't tried that yet. You don't do any portrait or figure, do you?
Very rarely. I have a hard enough time doing this. Why would I? I do some, I'll sketch and I'll do things like that, but
break up that eyebrow right there. You've got a big eyebrow right there, that big white, no, down a little bit, that edge, break that up. There you go. That's good. There you go. Now you don't have as much of an elephant there. Big difference. All right. So all the other artists that are seeing all the comments from the audience and how to fix your painting, they're going to be mortified and never come on. Michelle Byrne, she's going to be like, nope, not coming on. Michelle, you're invited.
I like it. I like that they're commenting because I don't have a lot of time here, right?
Yep.
So it gives me a lot of extra eyeballs.
Jamie says, what about the left-handed people? What direction they follow? Same concept. Just.
What do you mean?
Well, I think she's saying that left-handed people might make their brush strokes a different direction.
Well, it's the same theory. Even if it's left-handed, you don't want to have them all going in one direction, if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Do you put secret codes and secret messages in your paintings, like, the initials,
right.
Initials of your
I
wife?
have time to think about that.
All right. Put in the comments if you're left-handed or right-handed. I'm just curious.
Me?
No, the other people, the people watching.
Okay, this is not working.
All right. Tell us why when you do that.
The shapes are just going the same way. So it's
I
repetitive shapes. And I can fix it pretty easy just by going.
So far, right-handed is winning. We need more lefties in here. Dolores says she's watching on YouTube. The picture quality is better there. Well, sometimes it's about, every place is different in terms of how they feed. Linda is ambidextrous. All right, Linda. Can you paint with 2 brushes at one time? I watched somebody do that once. All right. So, Rich, we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. Tell us what you would be changing that you're not going to be able to have time to do right now.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it, I'm so rushing with it. that I can't make good judgments on it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I'll look at this and continue to work on it. I have a shelf.
suggestion. I have one suggestion for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know where you have your bright highlight?
Yeah.
Take a little bit of darken along that edge with something a little cool. And then that on the upper edge so that it contrasts with the rock behind it. No, all the way down. No, to the left, go to the, see your bright highlight, go to the left of your bright highlight. No, not in there. On the opposite side.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because if you push that darken right there a little bit and then push that rock way back, it'll really stand out. That's my 2 cents worth. The problem is you got to make it darker and bluer because it's got to go recede. Yeah. We have a left-handed massage therapist. All right, Winnie. Well, you've got an audience glued here to you.
I have so much more I could do to this.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not a lot of time to do these quick.
You're doing great. Stop making excuses. You're a rock star.
No, it's just a reality for other people, you know.
But this show has been titled Paint by Committee. Thank you, Jeff Eichhoff.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Why don't you come back on camera so we can see you?
Okay.
All right, everybody. Meet Richard Lindenberg.
Hey.
Hey. Richard, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much. Why don't you come to Austin and we'll hang out and paint and do a video?
If I could fly, I would.
Yeah.
I still have a fear of flying.
Well, then drive.
Well, I'm going to go to Santa Fe. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll shoot some videos in Santa Fe.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay all 5 days, but yeah, I'm going to make a trip out there.
Do we have you listed as a field painter?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Outstanding. Well, tell everybody what the field painter thing is because some people might not know.
Okay. You know, there's a lot of painters who are on stage who are doing a specific task that, you know, highlights their prowess. But there are a number of really highly qualified painters who are out in the field, they're called field painters at the convention. And our job is basically just to be out in the field with all the attendees to see if they need help. We don't offer it unless they ask. See if they need any help or paint a demo out in the field so they can watch out in the field. Usually we have a sign that goes in the ground so that people can see that this is one of the field painters or one of the regular artists that are in.
Well, you get a bright colored hat, you get a sign, you get a flag, and then people have these little pink signs they can wave if they see you walking by. It's like, hey, help me. Or they can.
Because every day we go out after the conventions, you know, quits at 4 o'clock or so. We go out in the field. We can't wait to paint. There's usually hundreds of painters in the same area doing these paintings. So
yeah, I should mention that if you're thinking about going to the plein air convention, get signed up just in case we have to reduce attendance. You want to be one of the early ones in. I say right now you're safe and the next 100 people are safe. So get signed up quickly because they, you know, by May things will probably be open, but if they want to socially distance us, they're going to hold us to about 600 or 700 people.
Right. Well, listen, I want to thank you, Eric, but all the people who have contributed their comments, they're very helpful. They really are. It's just not a lot of time to do this, and having more eyes on it points things out to me. So maybe what I'll do is on plein air, where would I put it, Eric? If I finish this painting to my satisfaction at some point in the near future, I'll post it.
Well, everybody should follow Richard on social media. We've put it in the comments and also his website, and Richard will post the finished painting.
Yeah, Instagram is the easiest way to see all my paintings, but my website is quite lovely. So,
yes, just like all your paintings, quite lovely. Oh,
yeah, they keep getting better.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much for being on. Thumbs up and applause for
My
Richard
pleasure. Bye,
Lindenberg.
everybody.